Hello, my name's Carol, and I am going to do my first podcast for the Pop Cowgirl. Dun, 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 dun. And maybe next time I'll have better music. And I'm going to talk about, each time I'm going to talk about one strain predominantly that I've discovered here in the Oregon area that's helped me with my life, with me and my best life. And I don't have to tell you all my ailments. We all have so many. But I mean, if you're over, 30 or maybe over 20. But I would say that today I'm going to pick the one that I just had some of, and it's called Big Buddha Cheese. And this is the predominantly the reason why I choose this over any other strain in my life as a medicine and a nutrient is because for me it makes me happy. And I tend to be like my needle set from happiness is not at midpoint. My parents gave me this needle that's like at 20 or 30 instead of, it should be at 50 like, but mine's at about 20 or 25, and maybe I learned it, genetics, shemetics, nurture, nature, whatever. But whether I learned it or whether it was genetic, that's just kind of how I am. And until I can figure out how to change it, this is a good fix, okay? Because you don't want to be sad too much because then it hurts your brain, makes parts of it shrink, the memory part. So, yeah, so it's good to be happy, and it's good to be happy without bad drugs, especially if you can use nutrients like natural herbs that are organic. Those are so pure and clean. Make that be your medicine, that's even better than using Prozac or something. So I want to be happy, and this puts me in a good mood, and none of the other marijuanas do that. I mean, I think maybe there was one or two that might have, but this just seems like it's pretty consistent. That's the key. Plus, as someone said in one of the reviews I read on Leafly, the first review listed for Big Buddha Cheese is mentions how he or she, the Big Buddha Cheese is not going to build up in your system in a bad way. It's you can keep smoking it, or I'm vaping it, so you can keep ingesting it or whatever in your way, and it's not going to build up, and so you'll be able to do it a long time and have it always work. And each time you do it, you repeat it, you get the same effect for a long, long time. Sometimes some pots, you one or two at the most, and then the third one is like, this isn't good anymore. It's like the first high was good, but then it builds up in some weird way. Maybe it makes your joints hurt. So you have to stop those. And maybe it's pesticides, who knows? But this has no pesticides. It seems very clean to me. I think that the reason it works is one, makes me be happy, and then two, consider me a classical PTSD. And we don't need to talk about what that is. We all know what our PTSD is from. Mine's from A, B, and C. So what this does, though, is it does not activate those PTSD fears, which is why some people get paranoid, because they have so many PTSD fears that the sativas tends to awaken those, and then you get paranoid and scared. Well, this doesn't do that, so it seems to just allow you to relax. Maybe it's because it's relaxing your muscles, and if fear is related to tension, then that tension releases, so maybe your fear goes away. Could it be connected? Like the Chinese philosophy would probably agree with that. So, what else? So I also noticed, just since you don't know me that well, this is my first podcast, I noticed that too much CBD, like 50-50, is like too much CBD for me, and I kind of get gloomy. And the very first time I ever tried CBD, I just took these drops that were legal, Dixie drops, and CBD only, and since I took it, I just immediately got really sad. It was like, something Snape would give you, like with a spell on it, some potion that you immediately get sad, like Dementor juice. That's what it was. Yeah, Dementor juice. And I didn't like it. So, but 50-50 with THC is a lot better, but it's still, I'd rather not have it at all because it's just kind of heavy feeling. And but I noticed that ratios of like 1 to 100, 1 part CBD to 100 part THC, is more happy, and then anything less than that. And sometimes if it has no CBD, it's just fine. You know, like some indicas don't have any CBD, and they're fine. So it's not like it's not a requirement for me. In fact, I kind of maybe not sure I like it. I don't know if I agree that CBD tempers THC in sativas. That'll have to be a project that I work on for a lifetime. Does the presence of CBD in a sativa make it less paranoid? It's not my experience, because a lot of the sativas I do with CBD, I still get that sort of. It's not like I'm not like afraid of the cops kind of a paranoia, but just like negative and pessimistic. Okay. Well, let's see. We talked about CBD and we talked about indicas versus sativas. Now, I don't know why indicas make me feel less afraid, but I'm just saying they do, and it's just regular, predictable. And I wonder what Acapulco Gold is, because that was not paranoid. That was like really hallucinogenic. And I only did it once, age 16 in Mexico, and it was pure Acapulco Gold. It was almost like yellow-orange color. Goldenrod. And one little roach some kids gave us, Mexican kids. I don't know why they gave us that roach. They must have thought we were cute. They gave it to us and giggled and ran off. So Teresa and I took it to our hotel room and smoked it, and each had about 2 little tokes. And it was very hallucinogenic. And that means that I had only gotten high maybe a few times, but I felt like I was a Barbie, the size of a Barbie doll in a Barbie house. And all the furniture around me was miniature, just like I was. And it seemed like I knew I was hallucinating, of course. I knew it wasn't real, but it seemed really real, like it felt real. Then the birds on Yes, Close to the Edge, the beginning starts off with birds. I thought they were real birds, and that they were Barbie birds. Gosh, this is hilarious to think this, like really small, tiny birds, and they were all yellow and gold flying. And then that's what I mean by psychedelic, hallucinogenic, because it was like hallucinating it, and psychedelic in that it seemed visual, visually altered, rather than the same old boring hotel wall. So, well, that was a nice little diversion. So Acapulco Gold, that did not make me paranoid, and it was a sativa, so I don't know what it is about that didn't make me get paranoid, but all the ones around Oregon that I buy, all the sativas, even if they have 1 or 2% CBD, seem to be that paranoid feeling. The Big Buddha cheese is conducive to introspection. It is clear and connected. It allows you to be clear and connected enough for interaction. And I find this to be true. And it helps me relax, flexible and adaptable to varied moods and energies. True. This is the write-up of Sentian Still. I like this person, whoever it is. Perfect for delving into creative projects. Of course, that's what I want to do. Beautiful snowy buds. I don't care about that. I don't care what it looks or tastes like. I'm just too much of a novice. I just want to know what it makes me feel like. And then later I'll worry about the taste. But if it tastes terrible and it makes me feel fantastic, who cares if it tastes bad? Just chew some gum, So, the key to me is truth lies in how it makes you feel. And how good your writings are after you smoke it. Of course, I don't smoke, I vape. In terms of its where it's from, or like the genetics of this strain, people rate this, by the way, as all of them rate happiness as the highest for this. Again, that's why I need it, because I need to be happy. Because my happiness needle is like at 2, and it needs to be at 5. Okay. Clone-only strain called Cheese was taken by this guy named Big Buddha. Took this clone and he crossed it with a carefully selected Afghani indica to create a seed version of cheese. But it's really not cheese anymore. It's just half cheese, and it's half Afghani. So it's like Afghani UK cheese. But he called it, after himself, Big Buddha cheese. So, Big Buddha Cheese won the High Times 2006 Cannabis Comp in the Indica category and went on to become probably the most popular and widely accessible cheese hybrid produced in seed form. Sweet tropical fruit, skunky cheese smell. Yeah, so that's it. Peace.